Hey there, thank you for tuning into Richie's Talk Zone. My master Richie will be with you soon. In the meantime, sit back, relax and enjoy our podcast theme song.
But you only know fun, we gather around where the beats are hot and the vibes is our part of Africa to the world's embrace. We're building a community, a sacred space. Richie's Talk Zone, where the youth convene, sharing stories, chasing dreams, living the scene on Spotify, Afropods, Google and Apple too. We're spreading wisdom, empowering you. In the rhythm of life, we find out.
Yay, you made it to another episode of Richie's Talk Zone. You're the real MVP. You're the reason why I'm always serving you the most educative and exciting topics of discussion. Yes, so today on this episode, we'll be talking extensively on a topic that's very crucial yet overlooked: personal hygiene, especially among youths. Amidst the many things we'll be talking about on this episode, we'll explore how good hygiene affects our interpersonal relationship and what expectations we have from the opposite sex in this regard. To make this conversation more interesting, I have an amazing guest with me. Yes, I'm a gentleman, so I'm gonna be introducing a beautiful, a delectable individual. She goes by the name Helena the Nightingale. She's an on-air radio personality, a media practitioner, digital content creator, and a model. Wow, what a fully packed lady. Welcome to Richie's Talk Zone, Helena. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Wow, Helena Nightingale. When I hear that name, I feel like singing. So, where did that name come from? Where did Nightingale come from? It's Nightingale, I guess, is a bird, right?
Yes, yes. Actually, it comes from singing. It's a singing bird, actually, and I really have strong interest in singing while I was young. I mean, I used to be in the choir. Thank you, Holy
Wow.
Spirit. But like um so it just resonates with me, and because I'm an OAP for the night shift, I mean it's just natural that you know nightingales sing at night. It just
Wow.
blends. So like
Wow.
Helena the Nightingale, because I sing, and I don't know, people just happen to like the voice at night. It sounds better at night. This is my night voice I'm using right now, Richie.
That's and
How does
I must admit you have a lovely voice. You have a soothing voice. Yeah. So at least the name justifies the whole thing. They justifies it.
yeah,
Great,
so
great to have you. Great to have you. Great to have you.
yeah, pleasure
So
is mine.
so let's jump right into the matter. We're going to be starting with the base. Why is personal hygiene so important, especially for youths? Why
Well,
is why? Yeah.
so I'll start by saying that it is important not just for youth, for everyone from your childhood to your adulthood to your old age. And that's the reason why when a child is born, immediately you're born, you're taken to be cleaned up. So that tells you that hygiene is very, very important. Now, for youth, it is most important because we have a lot of things that are, in our faces that are either distracting us or engaging us, right? So, I mean, as a young adult, you feel like, oh, I need to work to earn money. I need to look good. I need to be able to meet status quo. I need to have XYZ to be able to be called a human being, at least in this part of the world. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to target, I need to buy this stuff. There's a lot of, activities that we engage in. And that's why sometimes we tend to forget, about ourselves, because of everything that we are
Right.
chasing, so
Right.
that's very important that it is talked about, and it is. And we're talking about this not because people are not doing it, but people are not being intentional sometimes about it. That's the reason why I'm surprised maybe not surprised, but I'm always taken aback when you know the topic mouth odor is being talked about. Oh, I met somebody with mouth odor yesterday, and all of that. Like, I mean, is it that you don't you don't do your brushing from when you are a child, or like you just completely ignore? Sometimes, I mean, at some point I had to be intentional about brushing, as funny as that sounds, because
Mm-hmm.
dentists will tell us to brush twice a day, right? But
Yeah.
because of you come back late from work, what you want to think about is, let me just eat and go to bed so that I can wake up very early the next day to continue working. So you're just like, oh, I'm tired. So sometimes in the morning you even tend to forget because you're rushing and all of that. And that's the reason why when we talk about these things, it's not because we want to look down on people who don't take it personal. We're just trying to put it back into consciousness that in as much as you're trying to do a lot of stuff, your personal hygiene is very important. So I think it's very important for every young adult out there, because I mean, if you look around, before you step out of your house, you must have come across a lot of adults, young adults, before you even meet aged ones. So we're just everywhere, and then because we are everywhere, we need to be particular about what we put on, how we are dressed, how we look, how we smell. All our five senses are in place. What our skin
Yeah.
looks like, because I mean, there's a saying that dress the way you want to be addressed. And then I know people who sell perfumes and body sprays and fragrances always use this line that, oh, you need to smell good so that you can attract good things and stuff. So in as much as that is like a PR phrase, but it is very important. You step into a room, you want to go and meet that client, or you want to make a statement, you need to smell good. So all of these things put together is very important. Yeah.
Right, right, right. And coming from the angle where you spoke about stepping into a room and being yourself, feeling good underneath your skin, which is why my
Mm-hmm.
first opening question was like I want us to target it towards the youth, because I believe that being a youth, you are the prime of your life. That's how I see it. When you were first of all, you were a child. From being a child, you graduated into being a teenager. When you graduated into being a teenager, you moved on to being a youth. From the youth phase, you move to being an adult. Sometimes we call ourselves young adults as youths. So I want to hear from you. How would you describe how personal hygiene as a youth, not forgetting that, because I'm more how will I put it? I'm more concerned about the youths. The youths.
All right.
I'm more of a youth advocate. So I want to say, and I believe you're a youth as well, and I'm a youth as well. Yes, and most of my listeners are youths, even though yeah, adults can listen to it. But I just want to put it out there so as youth we can become the better versions of ourselves. So can you describe, Helena, how personal hygiene impacts self-confidence in youth? How does personal hygiene go to impact someone's a youth's self-confidence?
So I think that personal hygiene has a lot to do with your confidence level. If you are looking at that, you know yourself. I mean, walk into a room. Let's even take away personal hygiene now. Let's just be practical. If you walk into a room where everyone is wearing suits and you're the only one wearing a native attire, not to talk down on any native attire wearing person, we're just making an example here. Once you step into that place, you know that you are off, and then it sort of puts you off balance, because all eyes will be on you, like, okay, what's going on? Did you not read the memo? Did you not get the message? So now, going to personal hygiene, I think that it is it it builds your confidence level, actually, because before you can talk to someone, they need to see how you they'll first see how you look first, and that would help them, you know know how to talk to you. Should they approach you in a way, in a certain way or not. Imagine me looking dirty, maybe my feet is looking tattered, and then I walk up to you and I'm telling you, I don't know, maybe I'm preaching to you, I don't know. That example just came to my head. Or I'm trying to sell, okay, maybe I have a brand and I'm trying to tell you that, hey, look, my brand is really good, all of that. Would you even listen to me? Because you like, you even used it on yourself first.
Right.
So as young adults, we need to be very particular about hygiene. Every little thing matters, from the way your haircut is, to if you want to make your hair, make it, don't leave it tattered. If you want to have makeup on, make sure that you look peng with it. You don't look like you have overdone it. If you want to put on a revealing dress, maybe a sleeveless, that your underarm is looking clean and fresh and all of that. You want to know that you smell good. If you look good, you yourself, that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
That's the angle I was even
that
trying to come from, Seth. That's the angle I was trying to come
moment.
from. Like for,
It just
for me personally, if I dress well or if I'm
mhm,
looking good, I know within me that I'm looking good, and it sort of boosts my confidence level, which is what I'm talking about. How personal hygiene impacts. Like
yeah.
you when you enter into the bedroom, you have your shower, you brush your teeth, you have a nice haircut, and you come, you look at yourself in the mirror whilst dressing up. Then you get a nice cologne spray and the rest, and I'll be like, I feel like, yeah, I'm up to
You're
par. I feel like
you're
I
doing
can
your
step
town,
into any
no,
in,
no,
into
nobody
any
bother.
space. Right. I feel like I can step into any space. So I feel having good personal hygiene goes a long way into boosting one's confidence. If you are, for example, if you're going for an interview, you should first appearance matters a lot. So once
Mm-hmm.
you're already keeping that good look, your physical appearance is top notch, is great. Might not be 100%, but yes, to an extent you are looking very good, you smell nice, everything about you is presentable. You even have
Right.
confidence to be able to ace that interview, and
Mhm.
you're not putting anybody in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so
And I think that it just it just it just blends naturally. I think it's a natural law, if I'm to put it that way, that when you look, you have your hygiene in place. Especially your nails. Your nails are clean. You don't have your dress is looking neat, is ironed, is straightened, starched, whatever. You just feel like this is it, this is me. And that's the reason why you see some live reality shows where people who do not have self-confidence first, they try to change their appearance. you know
right, yeah,
that's the reason, because I mean, if you're able to change your appearance into something good, trust me, it just naturally works.
right.
It just naturally works.
Gives you like a kind of, it's like you are shedding your skin into a new skin, like how the snake does. You shed the skin, and the skin that is going to appear next is looking more beautiful than the previous one, and it helps you to be fierce and bold in your approach. That's really valid point.
That's right.
So with all these things that we've said as how personal hygiene goes to impact one's self-confidence, why do you think that personal hygiene as it is often overlooked by youth? Why is it? We know that, yeah, it helps. There are positive, there are 101 positive side of keeping good personal hygiene, but yet still we have youths overlooking personal hygiene. Why do you think they do that?
But I've like I said earlier during my opening statement, I was like, sometimes we're carried away with work and activity. So sometimes time constraints, you know, sometimes you just feel like these things don't matter. Let me just get to where I'm going to and then come back. Unless you want to do a video, get ready with me. And then you know that you have time in your hands to do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff and apply all your skincare products and everything. But like, sometimes you just have a busy schedule and you're just like, I'm running out of time. I don't have time to do certain things. Let me just go the way I am, and then maybe some other time I can do better, time. And then sometimes it is overlooked because, the funds, maybe what you want. I mean, personal hygiene should not be, such a big deal. But some people have high taste and they're like, if I don't get this particular product, I don't think that I would, touch this part of my body. For instance,
Really?
just to put a context to it, we all have method of shaving. Some people
Yeah.
prefer to use the cream. Some people prefer to use the stick.
Yeah.
Some people even prefer to use like the clipper kinds,
Mm-hmm.
the electronic kinds. So
Yeah.
because they can't afford their choice right now, so they're like, what, I will just leave the hair there until I'm able to purchase this, and then I can now take care of it. So yeah, there's that. And there's also the fact that some people just don't care. We cannot overlook that category. Some people just don't care. Like, well, let me just leave it like that. I'm good the way all I need. Some people have that mentality that all I need is in my brain. I'm smart and all of that. But sometimes it doesn't work. That way. I've seen someone that got a job because of how she's dressed. She was nervous. She didn't kill the interview. She was like, she could not answer questions because she was nervous. But they told her that because of the way you look so nice, you know what, come for the second stage. Maybe at the second stage you would have familiarized with the faces you have
Wow.
seen, and then so some people just don't care. Like, oh, all I need is in what I have to say. And so I mean, and there are some people that they've gotten comfortable with the idea of working from home, that you see them outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their beards are all grown and bushy, and they're like, I work from home, so I don't need to meet anybody, so there's no need for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of ways, but I'm going to streamline it.
Yeah, so this last point you said is really it's really a problem because and the advent of all these of remote jobs here and there, people now because COVID was what opened our eyes to our eyes to uh, remote jobs kind of. Previously, we didn't have that. It was not too prevalent. People always needed to be in a physical place before they can work. So I believe this remote work of a thing is one of the things, like as you just mentioned, is one of the things that is making people or youth not actually take cognizance of their personal hygiene because some people when they wake up in the morning because they have a remote job, they some of them don't even brush their teeth in the morning. They start working, work all through. Anytime they are less busy, that's when they pick up a brush and say, I want to brush my teeth, or even bath. They don't even have time to even take their bath. They just whenever it pleases them. Now, where you spoke about people not having the funds, I will strongly object to someone saying that because I don't have the necessary funds, I'm not going to keep a good personal hygiene. Like you can't afford, yeah, you have a standard. Yes, like as you give the different categories, some people like using the cream, people that like using the brush, the clipper, people that like using the stick and whatnot. All those are options. They are options. It's not based on preference per se. They are options that have been made available based on different people's preferences. So I believe if you initially use cream, the cream is a certain amount, and for one reason or the other, you don't have the amount to go for the cream. Why not go for for the stick?
You don't
Why
know
would
that
you?
some people have reactions. Some people have reactions. Like when they use the stick, they get reactions like bumps and chin and all of that. So
So okay,
the cream is
so
recommended for them.
you have
That
you
happens.
have reactions. You have reactions. I believe you know yourself best. You know yourself best. You know what should work for you. And also, there's a place of planning. conscious planning, because if you take your personal hygiene very, very, very serious, you won't leave room for you saying you are not going to take care of it. You know you are going to have reactions when you use any other option. I believe you should make necessary steps to ensure that, okay, monthly I'm getting this, I'm getting this. You're setting out, you're setting, that's your priorities. You are fixing your priorities. You know that this is important to me. If I don't do this, I won't be able to get that. You don't need to be nonchalant about it, because it is very, very important that you keep that personal hygiene. So me, I rule out funds. Honestly, I rule out funds. They are cheaper methods. Yeah, fine. You have your own body type. You have the way you react to things. Then plan ahead. Don't if you're a friend of mine and you are telling me funds is the reason why I'm unkept, I'm not
Mm.
presentable, I'll be like, are you for real? Because you don't have funds. Okay, why didn't you plan? Or why don't you go for a different option? That's my own take about that. Then about time, yes, I know, yeah. Nowadays, personally, me myself, I keep on saying that it's like time flies faster these days. There's little time and there's so much to do with little time available. So now I'm asking you, Helen, how then would you balance your busy schedule with maintaining good hygiene? How would you balance the two? How do you manage it?
Well, so when it comes to time constraints, so the basic things, um, brush, take your bath, make your hair, especially for ladies. We take a long time to make our hair, and it's a process. It's not a one day thing. So, in order to, I just be intentional about it. That's all I have to say. I just try to be intentional about it, because my appearance, even we get guests every time, you will not afford to be having a certain odor when your guest is looking fresh. The interview cannot go well. It will not go well,
Yes,
and then that memory will stick, because like they say, first impression matters. And that's the
exactly.
impression the person is going to get about me for a very long time. So it's very important that I try to um be intentional about my personal hygiene. So my nails is done, my hair, I make sure that it is kept every time. It doesn't have, because at some point, if you carry your braid for a long time, it tends to have this smell because of heat and everything. So try to do some washing and all of that. So I would not say it has been easy, even though I'm being intentional, but I would just say that it has, it takes, a person that has, your intentions to look good and to be very personal about your personal hygiene. So what I do is that, the basics, I make sure I do them. I don't need to be told. And then the rest, that I have to do during the weekends and all of that, even washing your laundry, doing your laundry service is very important. So I try to just squeeze in time, even if I have to do it in bits, like my laundry, I try to
Yes,
do it in, you know the ones that are heavy, I take them to be dry cleaned. Then the ones that I can, the light ones, I can just split them.
easily
Maybe
do.
so if I have a free time on Friday, if I'm not scheduled for Friday, I try to do it, some of it on Friday, Saturday. Sometimes I spread my washing for 3 days. As long as I
Mhm.
get it done. And then my nails, it's done. My nails is done like twice a month. So twice a month.
Taking off your
So
nails or what?
not that I'm religiously doing twice a month, but at least I try, because I'm trying to be intentional. So I think the word for me is just be intentional about it. I cannot say, okay, because I
Yes.
do twice a month, whoever is listening to me should do twice a month. No, but just be intentional about it. If you're going to carry natural, this is fine. All the best is, whatever works for you, but just make sure that they are neat and they are appealing. Because if they are appealing to you as a person, then trust me, other people can see it. And you may not know, people actually notice things about other people that you will not know. You'll be surprised that somebody just ask, like, oh, randomly somebody can just say, I like your your red nails, and you'll be like, how did you know? I mean, people actually notice things about you. Somebody can come and tell you that, oh, I noticed that you wear sneakers a lot. It's because people notice things about you. And the same way you too, you notice things about people. I know a friend of mine that describes people based on what they wear. Like, do you know that guy that is always on dread? Do you know that lady that is always on, she's always wearing black shoes? People actually notice, things about us. So these things would actually make us stand out, either for the best or for good or for otherwise. I don't want to say bad. So it's all in our hands, which brings me back again to intentionality. You just have to be intentional about it.
Wow, yeah, that's valid points that you've made. So please, so I just want to I've gotten a balance now. I have my partner with the when it comes to the male gender to actually discuss extensively on this topic. So now to welcome the other gentleman in this episode, all the way from Zambia, a digital content producer and the host of the Underestimated Voices podcast. He's popularly known as I Am Wed. My brother, my G, Wedson Msoni. Welcome, Wedson, to this episode.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Muli Bwanji, my brother.
Thank you so much. Tijape bueno kana imwe.
Very nice, very nice. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So we're talking about personal hygiene. We've already started talking a lot about it before you joining in. So we'll like to hear from you as well on this particular topic. So we were talking about how you balance your busy schedule with maintaining good hygiene. So Helen has spoken a lot about it, and she spoke about the place of intentionality. You need to be intentional. No matter how busy you might be, you should be able to make it a priority to keep good personal hygiene. So I'd like to hear from you, Wetson, as well. How would you also advise listeners to be able to balance their busy schedule with maintaining good hygiene?
Okay. Sorry that I joined in a bit late. I was I was like out of town, so this time I'm like getting home. But you know, we live in a busy world, quite alright. But we should always have time for personal hygiene. And I don't know, with the coming of filters and all that, I feel, some certain people feel if they use a filter, they think, everything is okay. But physically, there's always a disadvantage of not, because you can't use a filter when you meet like physically. So there are those, bad smells that, like people have. So it's always important before you leave home, take a shower, make sure that you are clean and all that.
Right. Yeah. So what you're saying is another. You're taking it to a different angle now. So it means like people like youths currently we are making the use of social media like control our life in the aspect when it comes to personal hygiene, because like as we've spoken about it, most people we're talking about the instance of this remote people having remote jobs that normally don't need to physically meet people. So from what you said, it means some particular people are of the notion that, hey, what's it, I might not necessarily take my bath. Since I'm just posting a picture there on the gram or anything, let me just apply a filter on Snapchat or whatnot, and just post it there, forgetting that one of these days they are going to come into physical contact with an individual right there before you, and there's no filter to filter off whatsoever bad odor or or your unkept nature. So I would like to ask, I'm going to be asking you, Wedson, and I'm going to be asking Helen. I want to get it from the both angles, the female perspective and the male perspective. So, what specific hygiene habits do you find most important in the opposite sex? Let me start from Helen. So you're going to be talking from the point of a female. What specific hygiene habit do you find most important when you are coming into contact with the opposite sex?
Okay, thank you for that question. I don't know which one is most important, but I think that uh for ladies, yeah, we have a very strong sense of smell. So I think the smelling angle. So whatever you know that can smell, fix it. So maybe mouth odor, maybe body odor. Ladies would sense it from afar. So I think that uh yeah. So I think that sense of smell covers everything. If you don't shower, I mean, some people can go a whole day, I mean, without showering and still be in the midst of people, and they find their way around it, maybe spray pair for something or wear new clothes. So yeah, I think that yeah.
So that's that part of smelling nice is
Smell,
to you
yes.
is generally supposed to be the most important
To put it in the
in the
context, yes. Yes.
okay, in the opposite side.
Yes.
Watson, how about you?
Well, I think there are a number of things that I personally can look at, but I think let me just say a few things just because when you meet a female or the other way around, it is always important. If you are a guy, make sure that you are clean. Your hair is just your hair is just okay. You're practicing. As Helen said, brush your teeth. Make sure that your breath is okay. Try to eat some mint or something. At least just keep your breath okay like that. I think from
Yeah.
a guy's side, I think this is so important because you might just ignore the breath side of you, but that thing is what is a red flag to like so many people. And if your breath is bad, it's always an embarrassing thing where everyone else is looking the other side just because you are talking, and if you pay attention, it hurts.
Really, that's real bad.
So we need just to maintain an overall cleanliness and tidiness in both female and ladies, especially when it comes with issues of breath and just that.
So
Yeah.
Watson, you've kind of tried to you have evaded my question a little bit, but I'm still gonna get you on this next question now. So I would like a personal a personal experience from both you and Helen. So in your so far, how has the lack of hygiene ever affected a relationship or interaction for you personally? It might either be an intimate relationship or an unintimate relationship, like let's say with a colleague or whatnot. So I want you to give me instances that lack of proper hygiene has affected your relationship with somebody.
Okay.
Maybe I can say
Let
first.
me go first.
Let him go first.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay. No, I will. I had. I think I have or had so many experiences when it comes to issues of personal hygiene, like for me just, and it's quite, by then it was embarrassing, but I remember, should I even say this?
Go ahead, you're free.
I
No holds back.
Okay, yeah, I remember when I was just growing up and getting to know life. Then I think it was my first so-called like relationship. I think I was young by then. Then we tried to do what we're not supposed to do, being young. Then after some time, I just heard from the friends that we had about, she had complained about me having a bad breath and all that. And, it was quite embarrassing where the whole school knew how bad my breath was.
Whoa.
Then later on, that's when I was taught about, hygiene and all that. That's when I came to like realize the importance of, brushing your mouth always and having a fresh breath. I think that's like one of a few two personal, experiences that I had in life.
Wow. How did that relationship end then? Did you take it in good faith, or you because actually she will I say she cared about you?
We just like we went our separate ways, just quite like that. It never ended, but we just went our separate ways.
But you took a cue from that incident and bettered yourself and took cognizance of your personal hygiene when it comes to the odor that comes from your mouth, right? So so in a way she
Yes.
actually helped you out, even though she that was really wow, so embarrassing. The whole school crazy. Helen, how about you?
Well, Wedson, that was an interesting story. It got me laughing.
Really?
But, yeah, it did. But that was interesting. Anyway, personally, I think I'll talk about the recent one. So recently, I was to work with someone on a project, and the project had a lot of talking about it. Like we had to do a lot of talking together, and then the first day, the mouth was
She?
it
You
was a
said
she.
she?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
a she. So the mouth was bringing out some things that were not pleasant. In
My
terms of
goodness.
smell, I'm trying to be more polite with this. So I was uncomfortable because all I had to do was do you know and I was not comfortable at all. The conversation could not go on, and then we had to reschedule for the next day, and then we met the next day. We're supposed to have the meeting, and we met, and then still the same thing. And I was like, is this a situation? Because I know that there are people that they have this thing by default, and then they
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do extra to keep
Mm-hmm.
it fresh and all of that. So I was like, okay, so we're supposed to meet on the third day again, but the second day I came prepared. So I had the second day I was like, in case this happens, so I had sprayed perf on my handkerchief. So I'll just rub it on my nose,
You're not
then
nice.
just to
Defensive mechanism.
yes, just diffuse the air. And then the third day on my way, I was like, no, I'm going to get her something. So I decided to get her gum, the minty type,
Yeah.
that I was going to give it to her. But now the way I was going to give it to her is what I rehearsed the entire time I was on my way to meet her. I was like, okay, I'll be like, okay, I'll take from it, and I'll be like, you want some? And if she says no, I'll be like, no, you actually do want some. but and then if she's like, oh, why do you think so? I'm going to tell her that I think that your breath has been like this for the past 2 days, and I think
Wow.
that I'm going to do it when we are alone, But if we are in the midst of people, I'm just going to tell her that, hey, I got something from the store, and they couldn't, give me my balance, so I decided to use my balance to buy this. I want you to have it. That's how I'm going to say it. If we're in a public space and there are other people, so thankfully on the third day it wasn't so bad. In fact, I almost did not notice it. So I think that maybe she noticed how I was using my handkerchief, or maybe she had fixed it, but I still gave her the gum, just in good faith. And then, you know,
Wow.
it,
that story that story is deep, man. Because
but with a guy, no, I don't think I've encountered, you know, any personal hygiene issues with a guy that I remember right now. No, I don't think so.
okay, yeah, I'm glad you made mention because you see, I exclaimed, I was like a she when you spoke about
Yeah,
mouth
yeah,
odor. I've also like
yeah.
I've also had experiences, and it's not a nice one because personally, growing up, my mentality, I saw women in or saw females in a light of always being
Very
spick and span.
cautious.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
being spick and span. Like I saw ladies that they take more cognizance of their appearance, their hygiene, more than even guys. Yeah, guys, we just do it anyhow we like. We run through it anyhow we like. But for ladies, I see it as they are supposed to be their sense of personal hygiene is supposed to be very, very heightened. So anytime I come into in contact with ladies that have body odor, mouth
You have to
odor,
stop.
like it's it's crazy. I sometimes take a step back and be like, is this lady not conscious enough? Because I know I always put myself into like in the shoes of a lady because growing up as well, I had so many female friends. I was around females a lot. So I always put myself in
It's
their
a subtle,
shoes because
it's a subtle way to say you were a ladies' man, Abby.
Yeah, in quotes, yeah, I was kind of. So I was more around ladies, so I always put myself in their shoes. Like when a lady is stepping out, a lady does her checks back to back. She checks herself very, very well before stepping out. So if I meet a lady that is not up to par in that place of personal hygiene, I always ask myself a question that what's happening? What's going wrong with this lady? What's happening to this lady that she is not taking notice, especially mouth odor. I've had instances whereby ladies, for example, you want to show the lady something, and the lady maybe leans towards you and opens her mouth, and I'll be like, my God, what is this? Where is this coming from? Where is this smell coming from? Which I like that part where you also spoke about how you were able to make that lady come to awareness that she's actually bringing out a foul smell. Because I wanted to ask that question, that how does one approach like a friend one, that's let's take it from these two angles. A friend, then a partner about improving their hygiene without offending them. How does one go about it? So Wedson, can you answer the question from the angle of a partner? How do you tell your partner? And we'll take Helen's point of view to a friend.
For a partner is very easy, especially if you are married. It's very easy because you can share it, in a joking way where you just get her maybe, Colgate, for example, then just tell her, oh, okay, I've bought this for you, jokingly, but you know that there's something with her smell, in her mouth. It's easy like that, but there are people that take offense even over small things. You see, and then the badness with the bad smell, in your mouth. It's hard for you to smell it unless if it is, in the armpits or something. But in the mouth, it's pretty much hard. So you need someone to be honest with you. You see? So I think for like friends, for me like personally, I think it's pretty much hard because there are people that are too petty, that they take offense over everything. So it's easy for a partner because you spend some time together, and you are living together. For example, it's easy because you joke, and you know that okay, here she's happy, or maybe is happy. Then you're able to share. Okay, no, there's this thing here. Then I'm able to do ABCD. Then you move on like that, because trust me, if you have a partner that has got a bad breath, then you share the same house. Even at night, when you sleep, then there are people that just sleep with their mouth open. Trust me, it's very bad. And it's just, the smell is just unimaginable. So it's not a very good sign. So it's better you are honest with them. But for a friend who you don't live with, it's okay if they take offense. It is their own baby to nest, not not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very, 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 very nice one, Wedson. So, Helen, how about you? How would you approach a friend? You've already given us an angle from how you handled your guest or your project mate when she had a bad mouth odor. So, to other friends as well, how would you do it in a way that you don't offend them?
Okay. So for a friend, I think I've answered that. I'll try to get you the product if I can, or maybe just subtly put it in a joke that you know. Because if we are like really close friends, I mean, I could literally put it in a joke, or maybe tell you directly, but in a subtle way. Like, I think that you need to pay attention to your teeth. I think it's having, you discoloration.
Wow. Yeah.
But for a partner, it's easy for a partner. You can just say, you can even tell your partner self in a very straightforward manner, like, "Oh, go and brush your teeth, I beg.
Yes.
What's going on?"
Yes. Don't come and kill me in this house. What was that? What was this bad smell? My friend, go and shower. Yeah, with a partner, I feel with a partner is very, very easy, unlike with a friend, because your friend necessarily might have a different reaction. But with your partner, like as Wedson said, you are the ones together, living together. So whether or not he or she likes, the person needs to adjust. So this episode has been really, really exciting. I would have loved to go on and on and on and on again, but we just need to call it wraps. So before we end this, I want to hear from both of you. What advice would you give to someone struggling to maintain good hygiene? What advice will you give to my listeners listening in now that might be struggling with maintaining good hygiene? Watson, let's hear from you.
But why me?
You're my brother. You're my brother.
I thought it is like ladies first, but what happened to that saying? Or maybe it doesn't apply in Nigeria anymore.
It does, it does. But I want to give you that edge now. So it's your turn now. The floor is open for you.
So, if someone is struggling to maintain good hygiene, whether from that side or this side, it is important to approach some of these things with empathy and understanding. Then offering support and encouragement can be very helpful, especially to those people that have got issues with hygiene. It may be beneficial to identify reasons for their struggle, why they are failing to keep up with good hygiene. So when you get to understand, it's easy for you to find a way to advise them, because you might find that maybe it is a mental situation where someone is not 100% normal, but they've got issues with their mind and all that. Then
Yeah.
you find that they might neglect the part of hygiene, because people are going through a lot nowadays. Then you just they'll just want to brush off the part of it is okay. I've got a lot on my plate and all that. So we need to have honest conversations like this. Then we try to identify their shortcomings, or maybe they've got health issues, mental wise, and if it's possible, we create an awareness now and then, so that we help people, because it is a very bad sight where you are next to someone. For example, when you are in a public bus, and then you sit next to someone, then someone keeps on talking, and they are producing that. Then you can't even just do anything. But you ride about 30 minutes or so with like them till the next like stop. And then you just go like, if they're going to like drop off, then you just go like, okay, thank you, Lord. So it's always important to have honest conversations like this.
Right. Thank you so much, Wedson. Well, Helen, your final take, your advice to our listeners listening in.
All right, before I say that, let me tell Wedson that ladies first actually applies in Nigeria as well. So yeah.
Yes.
but I mean, I'm talking before you came, before you joined. So that's why we just wanted you. I believe that's why Richard wanted you to join. Just say your piece first, okay?
Yeah.
Anyways, it has been an amazing time with both of you here. I really enjoyed the session, and I enjoyed all the stories involved. And my final take would be that personal hygiene is very important, whether you're and you want to look good. You don't want anything to affect your steez or composure. So
Yes. So
what you need to do is be intentional about it, and be open for feedback.
right.
Or be open to feedback, as the case may be. Always when people compliment certain things about you, I mean, as a human being, we've actually met one or two people that would say, oh, I like how you combine colors together, oh, I like your boots, oh, I like your hair, oh, I like, because that is to tell you that people actually do notice. I mean, so imagine when you are in a place where your appearance matters. You will not be caught on fresh or caught off guard. So let's try to be very intentional about how we look, and how we smell, and how we are perceived, and how we take care of ourselves indoor and outdoor. Because now we've been stressing, oh, when you go out there, you don't want people to. But what about you inside? I feel like the you inside would portray the you outside. So you start within, and then it gets out. All right. So that's my take.
Thank you both so much for joining this important discussion today. So, personal hygiene might seem basic, but it's foundational to our health and how we relate with others. So, to our listeners, remember that good hygiene isn't about looking good, it's about feeling good and respecting those around you. Until next time, stay clean and stay connected. If you enjoyed this episode in particular, please hit the follow button on Spotify and give me a 5-star rating. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment what you learned today, and the podcast, you need to share it to your friends and family. One love from me, RichieRemy De Talkertive, and Wedson, Helena. We say bye bye for now. Peace out.
We gather around where the beats are hot and the vibes is abroad. Of Africa to the world's embrace. We're building a community, a sacred space. Richie's Talk Zone, where the youth convene, sharing stories, chasing dreams, living the scene on Spotify, Afropods, Google, and Apple too.